Pues ya les doy.
Ah, no, nada más me deja en...
The cloud.
Ay, 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 ay.
Ah, ok, yes. All right.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenas
Perdón.
tardes. Buenas tardes a todos y todas. Gracias por estar a tiempo el día de hoy. Denos unos segundos solamente para hacer aquí ajustes técnicos y que la sesión también se vaya para el grupo del Facebook. Eh, y bueno, pues agradecerles que están a tiempo el día de hoy. Si hay gente de la península, pues esperamos que estén bien también, a pesar de las condiciones climatológicas que vivimos ayer aquí, los que vivimos en Mérida, Campeche. Así que pues esperamos que estén bien también. Y bueno, donde quiera que se estén conectando, las inclemencias del tiempo, pues no son selectivas en ocasiones, ¿no? Así que, eh, ay, no entra todavía esta cosa. Pero bueno, ya estamos grabando, de todas formas esto va a quedar ahí grabado, ¿no? Todo esto que estamos hablando. Y pues bueno, solamente algunos avisos. Recuerden que esta semana tenemos, bueno, Keren, gracias por compartir que todo está en Campeche. Esta semana tenemos 3 sesiones. El día de hoy es la primera. Esta es de cartas de recomendación. Y justamente el día de hoy pues tenemos a una súper asesora que va a dar la sesión. Ella es Ana Lucía Acosta, para aquellos que se conectan desde Sonora, Baja California Sur y Sinaloa. Ana Lucía es la asesora de estos estados. Y bueno, parte de la intención también de que más asesores den estas asesorías es que, bueno, los conozcan in advance, a pesar de que vamos a tener una sesión específica donde vamos a tratar de que estén la mayoría de los asesores de la República, justamente con la finalidad de que conozcan al asesor que les queda más cerca. Y bueno, eventualmente cuando el taller terminemos, que ya va a ser la próxima semana, pues puedan ustedes contactar a su asesor. No quiero decir de más confianza, sino al que les queda más cerca, ¿no? Entonces, pues bueno, ya creo que ya estoy transmitiendo para el Facebook, me parece. Y si no, pues bueno, eventualmente va a empezar a pasar eso. Y bueno, ya no quiero quitarle más tiempo a Ana Lucía. Entonces, Ana Lucía el día de hoy nos va a hablar acerca de cartas de recomendación, desde la perspectiva de cómo ustedes deben de solicitar estas cartas, a qué personas deben considerar estas cartas de recomendación, etcétera, etcétera. ¿Ok? Entonces, igual, nuevamente, recordemos que las sesiones son específicas para un tema. Si quieren discutir y si nos queda un poquito de tiempo al final, pues ya dejando de grabar y todo eso, podemos discutir algunas cosas. No, obviamente no tantísimo tiempo tampoco, pero bueno, la intención es eso, que comprendamos bien los requisitos de cada uno de lo que estamos hablando. Así que bueno, ahora sí ya, Ana Lucía, el tiempo es tuyo. Muchas gracias por estar aquí. Y bueno, spoiler, esta sesión va a ser en inglés. Así que, Ana Lucía, the time is yours.
Thank you. All right. So today we're going to be talking about letters of recommendation, specifically for Fulbright. Okay. Now, why do they ask you for your letter of recommendation? This is something that you need to understand. Okay. These letters of recommendation are going to help create a picture, okay, a profile for a student. It is very different that you write your essays, your personal statements, and it's another like perspective letter of recommendation that in this case, the scholarship or the people who are going to be evaluating your profile are going to be aware of that. Okay. It can shed light to extracurricular activities or personal family background things otherwise not seen in an application. So this is very important to portray in the letters of recommendation, but it is something to consider that it can help you or it can hurt your profile. So we need to be very careful on who we ask for our letters of recommendation. All right. I'm pretty sure now, or at least today, you're going to have someone in mind for your letter of recommendation. Okay. The specifications, I took them from the call for participation of the scholarship. Okay. And overall, they are asking you for 3 people. Okay. For 3 different eh, letters of recommendation, you just need to provide the name and the email. So it is important that you contact the people and to confirm their email. okay? Because that is what you need for this platform that we're going to see eventually in another session that you're going to upload this information, all right? Now, how to choose the recommenders. This is super important, okay? Who should be your recommender? Students should consider the following things when choosing the recommenders. How long have they known this professor or boss or even classmate? Okay. It would depend on who do you meet? Okay. How many courses have they taken? Like, have you taken with these people? And what is the professional relationship with your supervisor or boss? Okay. Could this person write a detailed letter of recommendation for you? So this is super important to consider. The person who's going to be filling in your letter of recommendation should give detailed information about you. Okay, if it's a general letter of recommendation, it's not going to provide the information that the people who are evaluating your profile need for them to be aware. Okay. Now, other factors to consider is the language, because the open call participation asks for the letters of recommendation to be in English. So you need to consider that as well. Okay. Now, do not choose a person simply because that person speaks English and could write the letter in English. So I know this person, it's really good at writing, it's really academic and things like that, but that person doesn't know me that well. That person is not a good recommender. Okay. Also, not consider the person only for their title or position. Okay, it does not mean anything if they don't know you as a student or as a worker. Okay, the quality of the letter is someone who actually knows you, not someone who has a high position in the company. Okay. And reliability of the recommender. Of course, letters must be uploaded directly by the recommender. Okay, so are they the type of person that will ignore an email? Remember that the they need to answer the email, so you need to be aware of that as well. Okay. When you need to consider the open or the deadline of the open call, okay, because you need to give the recommender at least a month to write your letter. Okay, so you need to consider also their schedule and how much work do they have and that they need the time to write the letter. So you need to tell them in advance. Okay. You will need to remind your recommender about the deadline approaches, a recommendation, and it is the last one that we have here. Not mention the actual deadline. Okay, you can give them an approx date of when do you need it, but don't give them the deadline, the actual deadline, because it can get too close and it could close. Okay. Also consider their school schedule, if they're too busy. So that could be also a factor. Remember that you need 3 recommenders. Okay, so you need to consider that. And these 3 recommenders need to write in English. Okay, so that's something that you can also start thinking and start like, I know this person. And on another recommendation that I have given to my advisees, okay, we're asking you for 3, but what if you have 5 in case your top 3 don't answer? Okay, so make sure that you have a list of possible recommenders in case your top 3 do not answer. Okay, now you can help your recommender, and this is something that we need to consider. These are a few topics to discuss with your recommenders when you are expressing the need of the letter, okay? You can emphasize some features and explain to the recommender that it is vital that they include the following things when they're writing about you, okay? They can mention your academic strength, your effort, your collaboration, your time management, your organization, and accountability. Okay, we all have our positive traits, so this could be some related to academic strength. Okay, related to your personal strength can be your attitude toward learning, okay, your motivation, your intellectual curiosity, energy, and the impact on the classroom environment. This also, of course, if you're thinking of a professor when you are as a recommender, okay? And it can be someone that has worked with you in projects, all right? And related to your professional strength, it can be related to responsibility, interaction with colleagues, problem solver, reliability, okay? Specific examples that demonstrate applicant strengths in these areas, we're going to cover them right now, okay? So far, so good? Am I talking too fast? Are we good? Yes? Excellent. Thank you, Daniela. Yeah, you're the only one that I can see, so you're good. All right. Now, another topics that we can consider, like what strengths, passions of quality students would like the recommender to highlight. Like it's an example that you can talk to them. Like, I would really love if you could include my skill, my interest, my talent in, and you fill in the blank for the recommender. It's not that you convince them to write a letter that it's not accurate, but you need to remind these recommenders of what we are going to be evaluating, okay? And of course, focus on special projects, special memories, okay, from the class that were significant for you as a student and that involved this person, okay, and this recommender. For example, I learned a ton from your class and was hoping you could provide me with a recommendation for college. Well, in this case, for the application for a scholarship so I can study in this institution, okay? And mention the project. Now, one of my favorite projects was, so they can include it in the letter of recommendation, okay? Now, active communication. Continue helping your recommenders, not just ask them for the favor, but also like keep track of what they're doing with your recommendation letter, okay? Now, as your advisors of Education USA, you can ask us for help. You can ask us for example, maybe templates or something like that. Okay, we can provide the resources for you or for the recommender. And well, in this case, they're going to be uploading the letter, but we can guide them a little bit. Always thank your recommenders. It is super important. Remember that they are giving a little bit of their time, their spare time, their free time for you to get your recommendation letter and for you to continue your academic journey. So it is super important that you thank them. And again, 3 recommenders, have at least 5 in mind so you can have all of the recommenders for that. Now, the content of the letter, and we're going to stay a little bit with this, and I might have a little bit of help of the other advisors so they can give us examples, okay? So the content can be related to the qualitative intellectual performance, unique insight, achievements, leadership, specific example stories, input for others, progression and growth, any challenge that you face as a student, or actions that make the student standing out, or as a professionist, okay? So this is like the overall of what it is good to include in your recommendation letter. Remember, you're already going to be posting a personal statement for this open call, okay? That personal statement, you are going to be writing it on your own, but this, again, is a perspective from another person, okay? So, and spoiler alert, you're not going to be reading this, okay? That's why they're asking you for the name and the email of the person, okay? Because they're going to send them a link. They're going to be uploading it, but you're not going to be able to see it, okay? So be sure that you're actually choosing good recommenders, okay? Now, here are some examples. This is a very simple example of a recommendation letter. Again, this is very general. If you get to have one of these recommendation letters, it's okay, but it could be for anyone. So it's not very specific. They're just like doing the job of, yes, recommendation letter. They might just change the name and it could be anyone. So it is just for the recommendation, but it is not very specific, okay? It does not provide accurate information. It could be a template from Google, so it's not that personal. And there's no insight whatsoever of any skill of the interest person, and it's very flat, okay? So we need to be careful on choosing this. I didn't, like, I wrote my signature is there, so yes. So it's very general. So we have to be careful with this kind of recommendation letters, okay? But it's an idea of what could include or the base of it, okay? Yes. Now, this is a little bit more specific. As you can see, it's a little bit longer. It has analytic skills, interpersonal aptitude, mental acuity in general, okay, details of the candidate's career, okay, that we can see in their resume when we have it, or that we can see it also in their personal statement, and it is a confirmation of that in the letter, okay? But yes, it's we're going there, we're getting there, all right? And this one, it's a little bit short. It's sweet. It has a little bit more personal a statement of the recommender. It describes the performance of the candidate in a specific class. And the student described is special. Like we have a little bit more of insight of the candidate, okay, but we need to also be careful with that. Sorry for that. Okay. And well, this is the general information, but we're going to be covering specific questions that you have as the person who is going to be asking for these recommendation letters. The questions can be in Spanish, no problem, but it was the emphasis of doing this in English because the recommendation letters are going to be in English, okay? I'm not sure if you have any questions. Um,
I
let's
have a
see.
question.
Tell me, Hania, Jared?
I don't know.
Yes? You
Yeah,
open your microphone? Tell us, please.
I have a question about have a deadline this or have a time. Example, I can the semester of my scholar is finished in November. I
Mhm.
can use this letter in February or is a month before the or have a time or have a date of what is the structure of this letter.
Okay, so you're asking if you can use the same letter if you're asking for it today and you can use it later on?
Yeah.
Okay. We can switch to Spanish if you want to, no problem. Tengo entendido que se llena la plataforma. Entonces tiene una vigencia la plataforma de la carta de recomendación. Ok. Pero igual podría, si vuelves a hacer la aplicación, sí puedes utilizar el mismo recommender, pero sería otra vez pedirle que la llene. ¿Tengo correcto eso? Jorge, Adriana.
No, era como
Ajá,
de mi semestre acaba en febrero, noviembre.
sí.
Entonces puedo usar esa carta para ir avanzando como en este paso, porque pues en vacaciones, en enero, la UNAM está de
Ajá,
vacaciones, entonces como
ok.
no pusiste como el formato, no sabía cómo decirlo, bueno, se llama
Ajá,
forma en español,
sí.
¿cómo es la forma de la fecha? O sea, si tienen que estar como un mes antes de que nos la tienen que dar, o qué vigencia tiene la carta de recomendación o no lleva fecha.
Ah, ok, ya como que a quien corresponda, como aquí dice fecha, me regreso el ejemplo, ¿no? Si te fijas, no tienen fecha porque se llenan en una plataforma, no es así como un PDF. Entonces la persona la tiene que llenar en la plataforma. Por eso se les pide el correo.
Ah, ok, muchas gracias.
Sí, ok. Igual, sí te entiendo la parte de que pues no los voy a molestar en sus vacaciones, entonces sí, sí tendría que ser un poquito antes el llenado, ¿ok? Nancy, Lorena.
Hi, I have different questions. First of all, as I remember they mentioned before, they are kind of updating the platform. So I would like to know, like, from when can our recommenders submit the letter? Because if they are like updating the platform, I guess there will be some changes about it. And also, if you could share, like, how it looks so we can kind of guide our recommenders about like how they have to submit it or those kind of things. And
Mhm.
also in the case of Afro-Mexicans, scholarship, they asked us for these recommendation letters, but in Spanish.
Okay.
So I would like to ask if the platform is in Spanish in that case, so my recommenders could like submit their recommendation, or if also will be like same platform in English.
Okay.
Okay,
So son tres preguntas, ajá, Jorge.
I can go in that one though. Okay, Nancy, thank you for that question though. First of all, yeah, the platform is already updated. So when you are starting your application in this new platform, when you get to the part of the letter of recommendation, they will ask you for 3 names, meaning 3 persons, 3 different persons. You have to submit their emails. Okay, that's all you have to do. Okay, then your recommenders will get an email saying that they have been selected. I mean, Nancy Lorena has selected you to be her recommender for her Fulbright application. Okay, so they will have to fill up like with general and personal information, like I think name and email, and that's it, just to confirm that it's the real email that they have received. And then I am I'm almost sure that the platform won't allow to upload like a Word document or a PDF. So most likely they will have to copy and paste what they have written on your on a Word or on a PDF, and they just have to paste it into the platform. Okay. And that's it basically. And that goes for either beca STEM regional or the beca for afrodescendientes. Okay. And yes, although the letter of for afrodescendientes will be in Spanish, I am not sure about if the whole layout of the platform will be in Spanish for the afrodescendientes applicants. But remember that specific session regarding the platform, we're gonna have it on next week. Okay, so actually the person who developed this new platform will be talking to you guys. So yeah, so we will have a specific session for the platform. Okay, Nancy, I think I answered your 3 questions. Is that right?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
The idea for you to have the session of letters of recommendation on this week is for you to start thinking of who you need to ask to be your recommender. Okay, this is like an overall of who you need to look for. So once you are doing your online platform filling in, you already have the names and the emails of these people. Okay, so this is the idea for today. Okay, so Daniela Gonzalez, it's your turn.
Hi, Anna. How are you?
Hey, great, thank
Hi,
you.
Hi, everyone. Well, my question is more because you tell us that, for example, we need to ask maybe professors or someone that knows us very well. But in my case, I have more mentors or I have more clients, even better than bosses, because my path of entrepreneurship and stuff. This will be amazing to ask before professors, or what do you think about it?
I think it's okay, right? It can be also people who you
Or
have worked with.
Yes, I will suggest to you, Daniela, to consider perhaps these mentors more than their clients. I believe that your mentors will have I don't want to say a stronger, but in a way, yes, input towards your professional development and all that. But remember, since the scholarship goes through an academic perspective, Comexus in this case will also look for the recommendations for like professors or teachers' recommendations.
okay.
So just keep in mind that, okay, so you need this balance in a way, right? Okay, so yeah, it is important to get to know you through the perspective from a professor, and at the same time, it is important to get to know you from the perspective of a boss or a coordinator, or in this case, a mentor, or yeah, something alike, right?
Okay, and my last question is, for example, will be okay, my question is, for example, if these mentors or these professors has a link with the university that I want to be, or that they are maybe alumni, will be great too. If they have this connection with this university, for example, if they were maybe Fulbright or they have a link with this university as students.
That's great. That's great. I mean,
I have it already.
That totally worked for you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And good to see you again, Daniela. I
Yeah,
already recognize you. Yes. All right. We have David Munoz.
Hi. My question is because I'm thinking about asking three people that I know from work. The three of them are my superiors, but I'm not sure if three letters of recommendation from people who work in the same place is a good idea, or should I try to get a letter of recommendation from other people? Because maybe I'm thinking that these three people have similar opinions about me. Maybe there's a chance that they will write similar things, because we have been interacting for almost 3 years, but I do the work, similar work with them. The problem is that if I choose to ask the letters of recommendation to professors or teachers that I've met, the last course or academic course that I took was like 4 years ago, because in these last years I have only been working. I haven't studied. I took maybe 1 or 2 small courses, and I have the um, uh, the documents that demonstrate that I took the courses, but it was not enough time because they lasted like 3 months or 4 months. The teachers didn't got to know me very well. And my last university teacher is like, I haven't been in contact with him since 2017, I think.
Okay, in this case, David, I think you already answered yourself, right? Because you mentioned about three, is that co-workers or colleagues, right?
They are my bosses.
Okay, they are your bosses, but at the same time, I mean, they will write the letter from this almost the same perspective. Although I don't know if you have like a different kind of relationship with each kind of them. So in this case, perhaps will be a better idea to only to consider. I mean, you can ask them, like you can ask the three of them to write you a letter of recommendation, right? But it will be like only the professional perspective. And in a way, as I said to Daniela, Comexus would like to see also the academic perspective. And it is okay. And I see a question, I think it goes kind of towards that from Daniela Rosales she's saying, do you recommend to have an academic recommender even if I graduated from school in 2017? I mean, if you still have some kind of communication or some kind of connection with any kind of professors, perhaps would be, I mean, this is an opportunity to kind of reconnect, right? And yes, I mean, will be as I said, another perspective. Remember that letters of recommendation, they also shed another kind of information, okay, from you. And this is the benefit of the letters of recommendation, that someone else is, in this case, telling Comexus who you are. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that, I think that will be our recommendation. And I think, Daniela, that I kind of answer the question you put on the chat box there. So I don't know if you have another question.
Hola Jorge, sí, iba muy vinculada a la que te pregunté en un inicio. Gracias por responderla. Mi pregunta es, este profesor al que yo le quisiera pedir esta carta de recomendación no me dio clase en sí. Sin embargo, él fue un mentor que estuvo acompañándome en un programa de emprendimiento que se llama Hold Price, el cual gané un campus. ¿Él podría ser un buen prospecto para recomendarme
Claro.
académicamente?
Claro, sin lugar a dudas. Digo, recuerden, digo, ya vamos entre español e inglés, ¿no? Y perdón, Ana Lucía, ya le estoy quitando su sesión a Ana Lucía. Este, eh, sí, o sea, recuerden que es gente con la que hayan colaborado, que hayan visto el desarrollo profesional y o académico de ustedes mismos, ¿no? Entonces, si es gente que dejaron de ver hace 10 años, híjole, pues a lo mejor no tendría mucho sentido porque no saben, a menos que les den como una actualización de lo que están haciendo, pero sería muy mecánico porque, ok, voy a escribir de eso que me estás pasando, pero pues la verdad no sé, digo, a lo mejor te sigo en LinkedIn o en Instagram y más o menos sé lo que estás haciendo, pero no es algo como que yo esté informado al 100%, ¿no? Ahora, el caso de muchos de ustedes, el caso de David ahorita, ¿no? Que también dejamos la escuela hace mucho tiempo y ya no tenemos esa relación, ¿no? Pero yo creo que por ahí podemos encontrar algún recomendante, algún profesor que hablando y exponiéndole específicamente aquí un tip, sean muy específicos en cuando pidan estas cartas de recomendación, valga, con sus recomendantes, de por qué y para qué las están solicitando, o sea, específicamente para qué. Em, eso, no, y darles información acerca de lo que ustedes están haciendo, de lo que hicieron juntos, sea un profesor, o sea un colaborador, un jefe, un coordinador, etcétera, etcétera. Recuerden ser muy objetivos con lo que están pidiendo también, ¿no? Entonces, Daniela, no sé si contesto tu pregunta ahí.
Sí, muchas gracias.
Ok.
All right. We have next Luz Ocon.
Can you
Luz.
hear me?
Sí,
Okay,
go ahead.
so I saw that some colleges ask also for letters of recommendation, and I don't know if Comexus would be able to send these letters or if I should ask my recommenders to save them on a Word document and then I resend them. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. I mean,
We're like,
in this case, Luz, I mean, you are submitting your application for Comexus like starting like today until February 3rd, right? Your applications for the universities will happen until November next year. So that's a long time for a person to save a letter of recommendation, right? Meaning this I mean, starting the upcoming year, you will have another experiences as well. So first of all, Comexus won't send any information to universities like requisites for submitting an application. Comexus won't send that because that's an application that you will do on your own. And if you are selected for the full rate scholarship, well, Education USA advisors will help you out with that. Okay. But again, I mean, you will be in a kind of big window of time to also develop some other relationships and at the same time to gain more experience, either academic experience or professional experience. With this, you may have to ask some new letters of recommendation for your application to the universities. Make sense, Luz?
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Yes.
thank you. Okay, Mexley Martinez.
Yes, thank you. Well, I'm gonna apply for the Negocios Binacionales scholarship, but I've been thinking about who person I'm gonna ask for the letters. But I work in the family business, so I've been thinking like if it is possible that a member of my family write the letter of, if that makes like, I don't know if I
Yes. Okay, I see a similar question in the chat box. And I know perhaps many of you guys work with relatives and you work in the family business. But like, to be honest, I wouldn't recommend to ask like a brother or my mother or my father to write a letter of recommendation because that information will be biased. Saying that, okay, if it is my father, the one who is writing the letter of recommendation, well, I mean, will be super biased, right? Meaning that he will say like the most beautiful things of me and about me, right? And I mean, in a way, it shows that the letter of recommendation is biased. I guess my recommendation in these cases or in these scenarios will be to ask like if you have similar case with Daniela, if you have like a mentor or if you have like a client. I know that you are going specific for the binational business scholarship, which it is a little bit I mean, the perspective from that scholarship, it is kind of different versus the scholarship for the graduate programs, okay? So in the binational business scholarship Comexus will be looking more into your professional experience. So with this, perhaps I mean, you could find someone like within your professional context to ask a letter of recommendation. And the same goes with for Sergio Alvarez, which is the one who asked about like family business and all that. So yeah, so I mean, getting a letter of recommendation from a relative will be like super biased. And personally, I wouldn't recommend that. But that is something that as soon as we finish the workshop, that is something that you can discuss with your education USA advisor. Okay. But yeah, I mean, like right now we are just sharing like general information and some tips. Like in my case, I'm just giving you my recommendations. Okay. I don't know if Ana Lucia, you have something else.
No, I totally agree. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. All right, Ponce Ramírez.
Sí, gracias. Yo estoy como en la misma parte de Diego, pero al revés, por eso no quería dejar de hacer mi pregunta. Yo acabo de terminar la licenciatura, entonces estoy muy pegada al mundo académico, porque todavía estoy haciendo mi tesis y todo eso. Por el contrario, no he hecho mucha experiencia laboral. Entonces, estoy como en esta disyuntiva de si elegir personas académicas, o sea, puros académicos, o por ahí hice algunos trabajos, algunas pasantías que no fueron más de allá de 6 meses. Entonces, pues me preocupa que no vayan a exponer pues como una visión completa de lo que soy, ¿no? Y de lo que se espera que se lean en nuestras cartas de recomendaciones. Pero bueno, pues aún así sería una opción para darle variedad a mis cartas y al mismo tiempo, pues no hacer esto que dicen de que no todas las cartas sean del mismo lugar, ¿no? Porque en este caso, pues mis referencias serían de mi universidad, de la escuela en la que estoy ahorita estudiando. Entonces, no sé si me pudieran ayudar con una recomendación, por favor, y muchas gracias.
Ok, bueno, Ana Lucía me está echando todo a mí ya ahorita, ¿no? Sí, en este caso, bueno, también debemos entender cuál es nuestro contexto y tal vez es no buscar, quisiéramos tal vez tener las mejores cartas de recomendación y yo sé que en la medida del contexto de cada uno de ustedes es como lo van a tener también, ¿no? Si la experiencia, tal vez la experiencia profesional ha sido muy poquita y consideran que que pueden conseguir una carta de recomendación académica más fuerte, pues adelante, también está bien, ¿no? Sin lugar a dudas, mucho va a depender, sí, del área y del programa que ustedes estén solicitando, pero pues también, si ese es su contexto, está bien, no pasa nada, ¿no? Si al final solo consiguen 3 cartas de recomendación de profesores, está bien también, ¿no? No vamos a buscarle donde pues no hay tampoco, ¿no? Pero sí es importante entender que, ok, si tengo la oportunidad de combinar cartas de recomendación académicas y profesionales, yo considero que va a ser el mejor escenario para presentarme también, ¿no? Idealmente pudiéramos pensar, bueno, ok, puedo conseguir 2 cartas de recomendación académicas y una profesional. En mi cabeza, salvo lo que digan Edith, no sé si anda por acá, Adri y Ana Lucía, creo que sería como el escenario más óptimo en un sentido, ¿no? ¿Por qué? Porque recordemos también la finalidad de la beca es una beca académica, entonces vamos a un programa académico, entonces se trata de compensar y de fortalecer nuestro perfil y por qué somos buenos candidatos, en este caso, para una beca y para estudiar, ¿no? Eso.
Ok, perdón. Y otra pregunta que se me olvidó mencionar es, Ana Lucía, creo que mencionaste que se podían pedir cartas de recomendación a compañeros, pero no entendí si como compañeros de clase o te referías a colegas del trabajo. Esa era mi pregunta.
Pueden ser colegas, compañeros de clase, puede ser quienes hayas trabajado en proyectos, que igual lo menciones en tu currículum y que de ellos abonen al proyecto que hiciste, que resalten tus cualidades, ya sea proyectos pues, académicos. ¿Yes? Monse.
Ok, muchas gracias.
De nada. A ver, Fernanda.
Hola, hola, buenas tardes. Yo tengo una duda porque en uno de los primeros slides decía que tenía que ser personal slash familiar. Mi duda es como si por familiar se refiere a que sea close to home, o sea, que te conozcan bien, no, o sea, no puede ser ningún familiar, ¿verdad? Ni siquiera porque sea algún familiar con que hayamos trabajado o así.
Si se refería a que fuera personas que te conocen, que sean familiar, meaning close to you. Ajá. You got it.
No relative.
No relatives. Ajá.
Familiar, no relative.
Ajá.
Ok, muchas gracias.
De nada. Nancy Lorena.
Yeah, again me. Uh, I would like to ask if after our recommenders submit their letter, if is a possibility that they will get asked for additional information by Comexus, because I guess one of my recommenders they don't speak Spanish, they don't speak English, only Korean. So I guess, of course, they will have to submit the letter, I guess, in English using the translator tools or something like that. But I would like to ask if they can get asked additional information.
Like, you mean if Comexus will require some more information from them?
Yeah, like extra stuff, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. It might be possible. I mean, it could happen and it could not happen. And that goes also for when you will be submitting your letters of recommendation to universities, that will be the same scenario. It could happen that the university, or in this case, Comexus, will contact your recommender just to get to know you a little bit better, or not. Sorry, I cannot be more objective in this answer, but I mean, it can be both.
Okay.
It is
Thank you.
not common, but at the same time, it is not weird. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Welcome. Carlos Mendoza.
Hola, buenas noches. Sí, mi pregunta es la siguiente. Lo que pasa es que yo tengo en mente a una persona para mi carta de recomendación, pero el punto es que actualmente no está trabajando en alguna universidad o en alguna firma por su estatus de visa, ya que actualmente está buscando como que una residencia en Estados Unidos, entonces por lo mismo no lo tiene permitido. El punto es que dicha persona pues no tendría un correo institucional o no me podría dar como que alguna carta de recomendación con algún sello de alguna universidad o de alguna firma. Y bueno, y para Fulbright García Robles he visto que ese no es como un requisito, pero he visto que muchas universidades sí piden que las cartas de recomendación vengan como con alguna estampa oficial. Entonces, no sé si ese sea un problema o me recomiendan como pensar en alguna otra persona para la recomendación.
Sí, no pasa nada. Digo, si la persona no tiene un correo institucional y no pasa absolutamente nada. En el caso de Comexus y muchas universidades, incluso sus portales es, como mencionaba, no van a poder cargar el PDF en sí. Entonces no van a ver una hoja membretada. Lo que van a ver es el contenido de la carta. Entonces, al final, si viene o no membretada, algunas universidades va a ser relevante. Sinceramente, no es algo que defina si te aceptan o no. La verdad, no va por ahí la cosa. A lo mejor le da un poco más de formalidad, sí, pero hasta cierto punto lo que más va a importar es el contenido, ¿no? Ese es punto número uno. Segundo, el hecho de que una persona, o sea, muchos recomendantes, tal vez les llega a pasar, ¿no? Y les llegan a decir, ok, te voy a hacer una carta de recomendación, pero no voy a incluir el correo institucional porque yo no quiero que vaya ahí la institución de por medio, no sé, cualquier X cosa que les puedan decir, ¿no? Entonces, te voy a dar la carta y voy a dar mi correo personal. ¿Hay algún problema? Para nada, ¿no? Y eso sí va tanto para Comexus como para las universidades, así que no se preocupen de eso, ¿no?
Ok, perfecto, gracias.
All right. Hania Yaret.
Ay, ya, otra vez. Tengo una duda. Bueno, es que hablaban de que tenía que ser en inglés y que pues no era muy recomendable usar traductor, ¿no? Por obvias razones. Yo estudio en la UAM Psicología y en la UNAM Derecho, pero conozco más psicólogos que hablan inglés y hablan bien, pero quiero aplicar con la carrera de Derecho, pues, a la maestría. Entonces, como que no tiene como mucho que ver, pero ambas son académicas, entonces no sé si pedir las referencias de cada universidad para tener un mayor peso o es mejor que todas sean de derecho, aunque algunas no sean tan, em, pues tan buenas en redacción o tan amplias con un vocabulario tan cool. Entonces no sé.
Ana Lucía, te dejo esta.
Pues yo lo vería como, estaría bien que sea variado también. Uno de psicología por lo que va a darte tu background y de derecho por lo que estás diciendo de que el enfoque, pero igual no hay ningún problema que sea variado. Ujú, sí.
Y tengo otra duda. Bueno, el próximo año no porque todavía estoy en el último semestre de Derecho y como me falta un año para psicología. ¿Podría aplicar para dos diferentes áreas o es una beca o una aspiración por persona? Es que no dice la convocatoria. Y dice nada más al 2026 y en ambas estaría titulada en periodo.
Ok, ¿quieres solicitar, estás pensando solicitar ¿es maestría a lo que tú quieres ir?
Sí, por ejemplo, estoy en la UNAM en Derecho y en Psicología en la UAM.
Ok,
Entonces, estudio las dos al mismo tiempo.
ok, y el programa que quieres es una maestría en...
En Psicología de Neurociencias o la otra es en Derechos Humanos en Universidad de Nueva York, me parece.
Ok, está bien. Aquí lo importante sería, bueno, y eso va para todos. Tal vez la sesión no está tan enfocada en eso, pero bueno, la sesión, específicamente con eso debe importar mucho el objetivo profesional que tienes, primeramente, ¿ok? Y segundo, aunado a esto, o más bien pegado, atacha a esto, dónde entra un programa académico, en este caso una maestría o el doctorado, ¿ok? Si tú encuentras, digo, aquí tienes que clarificar ese objetivo también, qué es lo que vas a hacer y qué posgrado, qué maestría va a abonar a ese objetivo. Entonces, eso es algo que tal vez, digo, terminando el taller, igual si ya lo tienes definido, si tienes algún tipo de consejero o mentor académico que te esté apoyando con eso, pues también sería bueno definirlo. Ok, sé que no hay una restricción en cuanto a, ok, pues, quiero estudiar una maestría digo, tampoco son cosas tan polarizadas, ¿no? En el sentido de que, ok, yo entré con la idea de estudiar una maestría en música y de repente, no, pues ya mejor quiero estudiar algo que nada que ver con música. Ahí sí estaría como que bastante raro, ¿no? Entonces, digo, siempre y cuando sean programas como que comuniquen bien lo que tú quieres hacer de manera profesional, eso va a ser el punto esencial, ¿no? Hay una restricción que tiene Comexus, es que no puedes cambiar si quieres ir a una maestría y no, mejor quiero un doctorado. Eso sé que no se puede hacer, pero dentro de la línea que es una maestría, pues también sería solamente clarificar y comunicar objetivamente por qué estás haciendo como el cambio de área, más que nada, ¿no? No sé si me explico con esto, Jania.
No, o sea, yo decía de poner dos aspiraciones y son 6 cartas de recomendación.
Ah, pero es que la plataforma solo te va a dar chance para 3.
Ah, ok, ok.
Ujú. O sea, todo el choro que dije era para las cartas de recomendación. Bueno, sí, está bien. Este,
Gracias.
sí, pero la plataforma solo te va a dar chance de tres cartas de recomendación.
Sí, lo que les comentaba de tener 5 era por si los primeros 3 que tienes en mente no te responden al
Backup.
momento de tú llenar tu solicitud. Entonces, para que vayas ahorita preguntándole a varios, para que tú sí asegures tus 3. ¿Ok? All right.
Gracias.
Eduardo, de nada.
What happens if one of my recommenders don't submit email?
Okay, in that case, you will lose the chance to actually, I mean, you have to be like open with your recommenders in this case. Let's say because I received the training for the platform, okay, and we kind of ask the same question through the training. What happens if eventually like my recommender is not submitting any letter of recommendation? Okay, so in a way I have to be like proactive and as we can say in Spanish, casi estar encima de él. But at the same time, you have to like provide this freedom, okay? And at the same time, you will be aware of the commitment of your recommender towards your application, right? If you see and if you already know that your recommender won't deliver, you can remove him or remove her from the platform. They will receive, he or she will receive an email saying, okay, you are not able to submit any letter of recommendation anymore because the time, the window of uploading the letter of recommendation has closed for you, and you can select another recommender.
But you meant before February 4th, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
If your recommender is trying to submit the letter of recommendation in February 6th, that won't happen and your application will be compromised. So that's why you have to be like very picky about who are you selecting for being the recommender.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Iracema.
And yes, Iracema, the last one.
Good evening, Miss Ana Lucia, Jorge, and everyone. First of all, thank you for your time and for helping us through this process. And my first question is, what qualities do selection committees they typically look for in a letter of recommendation?
Okay, almost everything that Ana Lucia shared already.
Okay.
Okay, so they have to be, well, yeah, this is kind of the ideal content that a letter of recommendation will have to show or demonstrate in this case. Yeah, in Mexico, we are used to write this letter of recommendation and using perhaps one paragraph describing if I am the recommender, what I've seen a lot is like if I am reading a letter of recommendation, one of the usual stuff that I see is that in the first paragraph is a recommender describing himself or herself, saying that okay, I am this, I am the principal, the coordinator of this area, and I've been in this position for like 10 years. I studied like a bunch of programs in US and in Europe, and the whole that whole paragraph, it's just about
For introducing themselves.
Exactly. And yeah, that's super cool, but it's not saying anything about the person who actually you are recommending, right? And that's something that we are used to here in Mexico in a way, right? Remember, the letter of recommendation, it has to be about you. And that is something that you have to be like super clear with your recommenders. I can share, I do remember like I was advising this girl for another scholarship, and she told me, okay, my recommender asked me what would be the benefit for him when writing a letter of recommendation for me. And I was like, you know what? Forget that guy. That won't be a good letter of recommendation. No, look for more people, because I know that you met a lot of like awesome people, like professors or collaborators. But if someone, and that is something, we are recording this, right? And if eventually you guys are asked to write a letter of recommendations, you already know what to write about, right? But yeah, be super aware of who are you asking for writing a letter of recommendation. So yeah, the experiences that you have had together, the time that you have met each other, and obviously the progress and the professional path and academic path that you have, in a way, like walk together.
Okay, thank you, Jorge. And the second one, is it better to have a detailed letter or one that is concise? But focus on key qualities. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, writing a letter of recommendation, one other thing that I have noticed is that it depends also of the character of the person you are requiring the letter of recommendation, right? It is, I mean, I've seen like several letters of recommendation coming from professors, let's say from an art program, which I mean, it's a professor, an artist, and that letter of recommendation will be like super decorated and super nice and all that. But at the same time, I've seen like letters from engineers and they are like super straight to the point, and that's okay. Okay. I mean, the content will be like the base of it. And yes, it might depend on the qualities that that your recommender will focus and will talk about you at the same time. Okay. I mean, you can share with the recommenders a brag sheet. A brag sheet is something like it's a piece of document that you provide for your recommenders to your recommenders, saying that, okay, in case you don't remember, I was your student at this specific school and you taught me this subject and these were the projects and these were what we do. So the recommender will be like, okay, yeah, I kind of remember you, or I do remember you, of course, I do remember you, but thank you for reminding me the projects and all that, everything that we did together. So perhaps that letter of recommendation will be more focused on specific events or projects, and that's fine too. Okay, so just be aware of that.
Yeah, thank you. And the third one says that will the recommenders need to speak English as well, like in case the scholarship committee contestant be unfocal, you say it could happen, right?
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, if eventually Comexus would try to like reach out, I mean, Comexus is people like it's based in Mexico City. So most likely, if he or she received a letter or an email, most likely it will be in English, but they can also communicate in Spanish. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. And the last one, how do I ensure the letters align with the scholarship mission and values?
How do you ensure about what?
The letter aligns with the scholarship mission and values.
Oh, well, that's very wide. You have to trust your recommender. And I mean, that's what I said about like before, you have to be like super clear with the main objective about this letter of recommendation. Yeah, I mean, you have to trust your recommender on that one though.
Okay, so thank you, that's it.
Yeah,
we're just at the beginning, but I'm confident we're going to achieve great things.
I know.
Thank you. We still have two people. I'm not sure if we continue or.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I do have time. And I was,
Yeah, I do have
I'm sorry for you, but yeah.
It's okay. So it's Anaí and then David Muñoz. All right.
Yeah.
Anaí. Anaí, are you okay? Si gustas, Anaí, la puedes poner en el chat y yo la leo, ¿ok? Porque se escucha tu micrófono. Ok, entonces pasamos con David, por favor. David Muñoz.
Hi, just to confirm, currently I work in a financial institution and I'm a lawyer, so I work with lawyers. But I think that I could ask for a letter of recommendation to the boss of a different department who is an economist. She is not my direct boss, but I have been working with her for 2 years, so she knows me well. Yeah, okay, so that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that works.
The thing is that they need to know you so they can be able to be like write about you. Remember,
Okay.
they're writing about you from their perspective. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, David. So, Anaí, ¿tienes la pregunta en el chat? No. We're good. ¿Podrían explicarme cómo el recomendador va a llenar la carta? Se les comentó. Ajá. Tú al momento de llenar en la plataforma vas a darnos el nombre y el correo y a esa persona le va a llegar un link, ¿verdad? Sí.
Sí, justo. Sí, así.
Y lo de la plataforma, más adelante se va a ver en otra sesión, cómo ellos van a llenar, cómo lo van a ver, ¿verdad?
Sí, exacto. Sí, de manera general, tú pones a tu recomendante, le pones el mail y entonces le va a llegar el mail al recomendante diciendo, Anaí te ha seleccionado para que sea su recomendante, haz clic en este link, los va a llevar a la plataforma, pero al área de recomendantes, no a la de aplicante. Entonces ahí solamente tienen que poner su nombre, correo y hacer el copy-paste de la carta, porque no les deja cargar, estoy casi seguro que no les deja cargar documentos PDF, sino poner el contenido de la carta.
Okay.
Ujú.
All right. Entonces, igual les dejamos el contacto de Education USA. Vamos a seguir con los talleres y no sé, Jorge, si te quieres despedir de ese taller.
Sí, 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 pues no, muchísimas gracias, Ana Lucía, gracias por hacer esta sesión tan informativa con las preguntas. Yo creo que, pues bueno, el interés de muchos es eso y qué bueno que las dudas vayan quedando claras. No sé si quedó alguna pregunta.
Eh, Paola Ríos levantó su mano.
Ok.
Okay.
Sí, las fechas para, Ruth, las fechas para subir las cartas son igual que la fecha de la convocatoria, 4 de febrero. ¿Ok? Ahí solamente ustedes sean un poquito más astutos y no les digan a sus recomendantes que tienen el 4 de febrero para cargar la carta. O sea, díganles que, no sé, tal vez, ustedes díganles una fecha eh, considerando algo que, bueno, yo siempre digo, las cartas de recomendación es el único, no sé si Ana Lucía creo que lo me dimensionó en otras palabras, pero parafraseando eso, las cartas de recomendación es el único documento en el cual dependen de alguien más. Entonces, sabedores de que dependemos de un tercero y que ese tercero es un ser humano con muchas preocupaciones, con muchas ocupaciones, que no sabemos por lo que esté pasando, y al final nos puedan decir que sí y 3 días antes nos digan, ¿sabes qué? No tengo tiempo, se me olvidó, ni nos conté, o sea, nos dejan en visto cualquier cosa, ¿no? Entonces, sean un poquito más, pensemos, adelantémonos a esos escenarios, tal vez negativos y fatalistas, pero como le dije a Eduardo, o sea, eso pudiera comprometer también su candidatura hacia Comexus, ¿no? Entonces, y sean muy selectivos con sus recomendantes, ¿no? Eso,
Creo que la pregunta de Paola es dónde encuentran la grabación y eso va a estar en el grupo de Facebook.
exacto.
Ujú. Ok, ¿y
¿Puedo hacer
Daniela?
rápido una
Sí.
pregunta de lo que dijo Jorge? Por ejemplo, el site donde va a estar toda la convocatoria, ¿es desfasado o es como, digamos, por ejemplo, primero, paso 1, o sea, no te va a dejar de que subir las cartas hasta que completes ciertas cosas? Te pregunto porque la gente que yo estoy también pensando, como tú dices, tienen una agenda ultra ocupada, entonces si a lo mejor yo los busco, no sé, maybe ya pronto, decirle, para diciembre, te puedes subir, pero si no está a lo mejor abierto o no avancé ciertos trámites, pues no la va a dejar subir, ¿no? Entonces tenía como esa duda del timing respecto a cuándo lo pueden ellos cargar.
Sí, mira, sinceramente no estoy muy seguro si tienes que ir como que completando las fases. Estoy seguro casi que no, porque por ejemplo en el caso de los recomendantes, que es algo extra, o sea, no lo haces, lo empiezas tú, pero no lo terminas tú, ¿me explico? Pero de todas maneras, esa pregunta, si puedes entrar la próxima semana, porque les digo, va a estar la persona que desarrolló la plataforma. Entonces,
Perfecto.
ahí, o sea, preguntas específicas acerca de la plataforma. Víctor va a estar con nosotros. Víctor Gutiérrez es la persona que ha desarrollado la plataforma nueva. Entonces, sin ningún problema, aquí bombardeamos a Víctor con estas preguntas, porque pues él es quien ha desarrollado esto, ¿no? Pero de manera general, creo que no hay ningún problema en que vayas como por fases. Por ejemplo, si ya tienes tus resultados de GRE, de ejemplo, ¿no? Y de TOEFL IBT o de IELTS o de Duolingo, pero todavía no tienes los ensayos, pues puedes cargar ya algunas cosas.
Ok,
¿Me explico?
súper. Muchas gracias.
Ok, pues bueno, con esto nos damos por terminada la sesión. Eh, Muchas gracias por su atención. La grabación va a quedar grabada ya está ahí, o sea, la estuvimos pasando en vivo también en el grupo del Facebook. Y igual, si tienen alguna duda posterior a lo que vimos el día de hoy, ahí pueden postear directamente y ahí vamos a tratar de resolver la mayor cantidad de dudas que se puedan presentar, ¿no? Entonces, Pues bueno, ya empezamos a adelantar con algunos asesores, ya conocieron a Ana Lucía. Ana Lucía está en Baja California Sur, Sinaloa. ¿Y dónde más, Ana Lucía?
Y Sonora.
Y Sonora. Entonces, bueno, pues Ana Lucía es una de las asesoras que están en el norte del país. Y pues bueno, muchísimas gracias a todos por conectarse. Nos vemos el día de mañana. El día de mañana tenemos una sesión acerca de cómo seleccionar las instituciones y cómo hacer este estudio de qué necesito ver y qué necesito conocer de las instituciones que yo quiero, a las cuales quiero solicitar admisión, ¿no? Y pues bueno, nos vemos el día de mañana. Espero que tengan todos una muy buena noche. Y pues bueno, nada, nos vemos mañana. Hasta luego. Sí, la sesión es en el mismo link. Y si no se pueden conectar a través de Zoom, va a estar, la transmitimos a través del grupo del Facebook, ¿sale?
Thank you so much.
Gracias.